Hey BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and it's time for top five, or not top five, top seven on Sunday. And this week's topic is the new releases from 2020 that you missed out on. So basically, the new release that came out that you did not get to. Okay, so number one for me is. Oh, that's not number one, like, as in, these are not put in any order of the ones I want the most or anything like that, or they were the first ones that came onto my mind, and this first one is a more recent release, and it is also, at the moment, a lot of people are talking about it. It's one of the more popular books on BookTube, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. It's one of her adult books, and it's more of a literary story, and it's one that she's been working on for years, actually, according to Sam from Thoughts at Home when she did a vlog on her reading it. This is a story about this girl, Adeline LaRue. I'm guessing she's French, and she was born in the 1700s. And when we meet her, she is going to marry. She's being arranged to marry this guy, but that's the last thing she wants to do. She wants independence, she wants freedom, she wants to live her life, and she doesn't want to become, trapped in a marriage, and, she wants to do more with her life. So she makes a sort of a deal with this devil-like entity who offers her immortality, but at the cost of no one will remember her, and she cannot make her mark in the world. No one will, she is completely, to use the title, is invisible to the world. But he can make her, but if she goes in, sorry, I'm stumbling on the description. I did fine earlier when I was practicing this. So she goes through life from the 1700s to present day, just dealing with existing, but without being able to, make her mark on the world, being able to be remembered, and to actually have human connection. And this devil-like guy is just waiting for her to give in to him, and so that they can because he's probably the only person that she has any connection with now. But eventually, one day, in the present day, she meets a guy at a bookshop who actually remembers her. And I'm guessing there might be a sort of love triangle involved in this. Like maybe Rascal. Okay, one second, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, my dog, Rascal, he's sadly been having a lot of lung issues, and he's been getting sick after drinking lots of water, so I'm making sure he didn't leave any mess in my closet. Okay, back to the 7 on Sunday. So, yeah, so that's all I'm going to say about that one. It looks really good. I mean, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions, and like I said, it's more literary, so I feel like people were expecting something, weren't expecting this, and then, of course, she'll get criticisms by all of her books, and I think for a lot of people, her books are hit or miss. So, but I'm so excited. I remember it was when I went to Barnes & Noble a few weeks ago. It was either this would be the hardback I was gonna buy, either this or Naomi Novak's book, A Deadly Education, but I decided to get her book, A Deadly Education, because when I was doing the Get to Know Your Fantasy Reader tag, I had mentioned that Naomi Novak was one of my favorite fantasy authors, and So that was kind of the reason why I was like, oh, well, I said that, so maybe I should buy her book first, get to her book, and then get the Addie LaRue book, which is probably a silly reason to, but I had to make a decision. I was feeling like I had to make a decision quickly, so and narrow it down. Okay, so the next one is more one that was talked about at the beginning of the year, and that is Emily St. Mandel's The Glass Hotel. I enjoyed her first book, Station 11. I thought it was really good. And I had heard about this one, and I remember the premise did sound very intriguing, and also the cover was really pretty. I really liked the cover, so yes, I'm just as shallow as everybody else when it comes to covers. And I just decided I was gonna get it. I wanted to. It was one that I wanted to get, but I haven't got around to it yet. So, yeah, and I don't remember what it's about. I couldn't really tell you, but I remember being very intrigued by the premise. Okay, so next is one that is by an author who I've read only 2 of her other books, and those 2 were both from the same series, and that is Marie Lu's The Kingdom of Beck. And I read the first 2 books in her Legend series. I did not like the direction that series ended up taking. There was a specific trope in there that I hate with every fiber of my being, and I think it's a cop-out when authors use that trope. But, and I haven't read her other series. I know she wrote another series. I don't know if it's a series, trilogy, or duology. But I think it's a villain origin story. I think it's like the Elite series or something. I haven't read that one. I have seen it at the library, though. So, who knows, when we get back to a normal schedule where the library and the bookshop are open every day except for Sundays, then maybe I'll get it. But anyway, this one, Kingdom of Beck, is her story about Mozart's sister, who was not as popular as her brother, not as famous, but she was also a very creative, very artistic person, and very talented. She just wasn't, because she was a woman, she wasn't taken as seriously and wasn't as respected. And she and Mozart had created their own world, a magical world called Back, that they called Back, and it's the idea of what if that world was real. And it kind of made me think of, there's a graphic novel about the Bronte siblings and how when they were growing up, they also created their own little fantasy world, and it's the idea of, just like this one, is about the idea of that world exists. What if that world existed? It's a similar premise, and this book kind of reminded me of, so I'm still interested in both. So, I can't remember what that other one was called, but so yeah, I'm definitely interested. And again, another really pretty cover. I do like the color. I like blue on. I do like blue on covers, but I like blue mixed with other colors, or different shades of blue. But yeah, I remember finding it very intriguing, especially it being about, kind of about being about a historical figure, especially one that's not as known, and one that's connected to someone that's famous. So next one, that was number 3. Number 4 is the sequel. Then 4 and 5 are both sequels to sequels to a first book that I read a year or 2 ago, and I liked both of them. I really enjoyed them. I was looking forward at the time after I read the first 2 books, but the sequels did not come out yet. Obviously, I knew they were coming, but they hadn't come out yet. And see, my problem with series is that a lot of times I end up, if it's a new series and they only have 1 book out, I'll buy the first book because I get all excited about it, and BookTube people on BookTube get me excited about, and I see it, and I spot it, and it's like, ooh, let's check that out. And I read it, I enjoy it, but then I understand, it takes a long time for an author to publish the next book in the series, whether it was popular or whether it was received lukewarm reception. It still takes a long time, and there's a lot of pressure on authors. So I understand that side of it to an extent. you know. But I also understand that, if you really enjoy it and you're desperate to read the next book. But for me, even if I enjoyed it, a lot of times I will move on from it if it takes like over a year. I mean, unless I'm like just super excited to the point of, making sure and keep track of when it comes out. And that doesn't happen that often. So a lot of times there will be situations where I will enjoy, even though, I will enjoy the first book, and then it will take a year or maybe a little bit longer for the next book to come out. Which, again, I understand that that's, it might take a while for an author to publish the next book. And I eventually move on. I get sidetracked and distracted by other books. There's that meme of Dory from Finding Nemo / Finding Dory, and she will all of a sudden see something and get distracted because she has short-term memory loss. Well, that's me. I'm like, I'll like something, but then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I want that one, or ooh, I'm now into that. That is definitely me. So the first one is Ruthless Gods. I can't remember the author's name, but the first book was called Wicked Saints, which I really enjoyed it. I know not everybody loved it. A lot of people compared it to the Grisha trilogy, and the book number 6, or book number 5, was also compared to Leigh Bardugo's world, Grisha world too, but or at least the plots anyway. This takes place in I think it's also Russian-inspired kingdom, where you have two groups of people. You have the people that still go by the old ways and worship the gods and stuff, and the main female lead in the story, she has a connection to the gods. She can communicate. They can communicate through her, and so, like, she's a priestess. And then you have the other group of people who don't believe in the gods anymore, don't worship the gods anymore, but they use blood magic. And they're seen by the other group of people as bad and evil and stuff. And I don't remember how they end up getting, I think, it was something like that. The blood magic users attacked her kingdom, and so she was forced to flee, and she ends up getting stuck with the group, ended up traveling with a group of people that are kind of experiments from the people who use blood magic. And she has to go with them for some reason. I can't remember. She ends up teaming up with them for some reason. And there's a little bit of a romance, kind of a Alina Darkling type romance. If you were a fan of Alina and the Darkling as a couple, then it's similar to that. And then the prince from the Blood Magic Kingdom is trying to find her and track her down the other group as well, the other people as well. Which, I know it's a poor summary, but I don't remember exactly. I probably should reread it, but I'm lazy and will just jump, when I finally get rid of those gods, I'll just jump into reading that one. Okay, so, and then the next one, like I said, is also a sequel to a book I read a year ago, a couple years ago, and that is Silver Serpents, and you have the sequel to that one. The first book was Gilded Wolves, and Silver Serpents is the sequel. If I remember what that one is about, is this one was compared to the Six of Crows more so than the Grisha trilogy. And this one I think is in Paris in like 1890s. And our main character was part of one of the rich families, but their family got like kicked out of the club and he lost his inheritance. And so his whole life he's wanted revenge on the rich people. And he gets together a group of thieves, and he finally is going to get his revenge by stealing their most valued treasures. And essentially going on. So it's just like Six of Crows, it's a bit of a heist story. And you have similar relationships and character personalities in this one. But I think there are differences too. There are differences as well. And I really enjoyed it. I know it's not everybody liked it, and some people got confused by the magic system. Now, at the time I was reading, I wasn't confused. I'm still not confused. I just don't remember it that well. I think it has something to do with objects, sentient objects or something. Or objects having powers or something like that. And like I said, the sequel's called The Silver Serpents. Okay, book number 6 is Where Dreams Descend. I don't know the author for this one. But this was one that was basically like Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge. And that whole idea that combination just sounded right up my alley. It looked so intriguing, and I thought that just looked so cool and sounded like such a good story, a good, juicy, entertaining story. I don't know the kind of reception this book's received, but I know, I think people liked it. But I just haven't got around to buying it yet. But it looked really good. And like I said, the only thing I can tell you is like Moulin Rouge meets Phantom of the Opera. That's all I know. And or at least all I can remember anyway. Okay, so the last one is Mexican Gothic, which I know that one is on Libby, so I can get it off Libby if I want to. I don't know when, but this is by Silvio Moreno Garcia, the same author who wrote Gods of Jade and Shadow. And this one, I got another one of those. Okay, my dogs keep bugging me. I think they think it's dinner time, but it's not exactly dinner time. It's like 10 minutes to 5, but they don't eat until 5:30. So, okay, let me finish talking. So, Mexican Gothic. I guess it's kind of it's going by, the title. It's a Gothic story, but set in the Mexican culture, and I want to say it's the 50s. It's set in the 1950s or something. And our main character is contacted by her cousin, who has called her saying that she is in danger and needs help because the family that she married into are crazy and her fiance is going to kill her. So she's told by her father to go see her cousin. And when she gets there, she's told by the family that her cousin is very ill, and when she notices the house is a bit weird and has a strange effect on people. And that's all I remember hearing of what this one was about. And like I said, I loved her first book. Again, a lot of these are, not all of them, but a lot of them, it's very much like I liked their previous work. I mean, even with Kingdom of Back, I like Marie Lu's previous work. I just didn't like. I was not too keen on a particular trope that they used, and also, it's a little, that type of story is a little iffy. If I'm, the one I read, the Legend series, is a little iffy if series wise, premise wise, but yeah, a lot of these, it's more like I liked the author's work. Other than that, I like the author's previous work. So, and I think I'll probably just get this one off of Libby. Maybe, probably next year sometime. I don't know if I'll wait until October or read it sooner maybe, read it sooner than October or sooner even than autumn. I don't know, because I'm not like one of those people who reads only certain books at certain times of year. I'm definitely more of a mood reader. But I really liked it, and I really liked the premise, and it made me think a little bit of like, Jane Eyre and stuff like that. And like I said, I can get that one easily. I don't have to buy that one. None of these I have to buy, but it's the one that I'm the least excited about. That's not saying that I'm not excited at all. It just says I'm more excited about the other ones. In fact, at the moment, I'm the most excited about The Miserable Life of Addie LaRue. Although, ironically, I don't think I put that one on my Amazon wish list yet. I might have added it. I don't know. I can't remember if I added it right when I got home from Barnes & Noble that day or not. But anyway, so those are my 7 new releases from this year that I did not get to. I would love to hear what your new releases that you did not get to and this year, and I will talk to you all later. And my dog is being a little suspicious. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's hungry or what. I mean, he probably is hungry. But okay, do not. I hope he doesn't knock down any of my ornaments. I have a little tree here. You guys can. A little tree. But anyway, if you guys like this video, be sure to click subscribe and click the bell notification below if you want to know if you want to get notified when I post new videos. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And I hope you are wearing your mask, washing your hands, staying 6 feet apart from people, and I hope you have a good holiday if you celebrate the holidays that go on this month. And I hope you are just being kind to each other, because we all could use a little bit of kindness. Alright, bye!